Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI Talk und bei mir MoGo. Sie wissen ja, ich bin Aktionär, mittlerweile ein glücklicher Aktionär. Es hat sich ja ausgezahlt, das war ja eine Turnaround-Story. Ich habe die ersten natürlich um die $4 gekauft, habe aber dann auf dem Weg nach unten zugekauft und mittlerweile bin ich so knapp um die 100% vorne. Aber ich habe noch nicht vor zu verkaufen, denn es gibt, oder ich habe Hoffnung, dass wir noch deutlich höher steigen. David, thank you to have time. That's now I must say, first conflict of interest, shareholder. Yeah. Now I'm happy shareholder.
Okay, good.
Last time I talked, I was
no, I'm not so happy. Okay.
I was not so happy.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that I bought in when the stock going down.
Okay, yeah.
So I always buy a little bit too early, but I also buy some stocks under $2 and so on. Still close to 100% plus.
Okay, good. Excellent.
But I have the hope that we're going higher.
Yeah, you and me both.
So that's the reason why I'm happy shareholder now.
Okay, good.
But coming to the business.
Yeah.
And starting with one question, and this is a little bit the company don't talk about too much. This is this product what you're coming up with, loans. These mortgages.
Yeah, mortgages. Yeah.
How did mortgages business look like?
Yeah. So we've, basically our strategy, one of the things we've been guiding the market to is we are looking to continue to see increased revenue growth on a quarterly basis, and an increase in revenue from other products, right? Other revenue. So right now, the majority of the revenue is coming from loan interest. Mm-hmm. And what we saw in the last quarter, so the last quarter that we reported, Q2, is we actually saw a 30% increase in the other revenue category. So that was kind of one of the first indicators of this other revenue. Other revenue includes mortgage revenue, includes card revenue, right? Includes these other products and services. We have some insurance offerings. We've got a new product today that I can talk about as well that's going to be in that other category. Again, mortgages is part of that. So the mortgage opportunity continues to be a big opportunity. We're still early days. The mortgage business is a very complex industry in Canada, as it is in probably most countries. So there's this one of these businesses where we're continuing to move forward, continue to improve, continue to learn, and continue to grow that part of the business. And we're doing that in parallel with every other part of the business. So if you think about the real power of the MoGo platform, what we built is we started as a lending company. We then built this digital account and started to acquire a whole bunch of members. And then really the power of the platform is, can we start bringing other products in there, launch them relatively quickly, leverage the platform so you're not offering a whole new account, whole new experience. You have to build out a mobile app. So now today we obviously have not only our loans, we have our credit score monitoring product, which is free. We have our mortgage product. And then we have our MoGo card, right? And now we got this new product that we're going to be launching called ID Protect, right? And the goal here is to continue to launch these products and then continue to have 4 or 5 different ways and then continue in parallel to grow and nurture every product. So we're right now focused on growing the mortgage product, growing the card product, launching and then growing this new product, along with continuing to grow the loans. Versus before, we would have said put all the effort into just growing the loan book, right? And so what we expect to see is a continued increase in this other revenue category, right? And think of it as, and that's really where the power of the platform is.
Do you have a higher margin on this other incomes?
Yes. So we do. So the nice thing is, so we increased our gross profit margin last quarter. A lot of these products have higher margin, and there's no at-risk capital as well, right? So obviously on the loan business, the loan business is a good business. The challenge is that it requires capital. So even though we have a credit facility, we still have to fund a portion of it, so it requires cash on our balance sheet. And you're also, obviously you have some risk there too. You're taking some risk. So we think that's a great business, going to continue to be part of it. Again, we've talked about this before, but think of our model more long-term as like a PayPal. PayPal has a lending business within PayPal, but they have a whole bunch of other revenue categories. And what we're trying to do is continue to build out that ecosystem. So when you look at PayPal, you drill down, you're like, well, Venmo, for example, perfect example. Venmo is a free service within PayPal now. It's helping to bring people into the products and get them where they have other opportunities, no different than our credit score. Braintree is a payment platform of PayPal. In fact, we're using Braintree platform on our new product as well that we're leveraging on that. But that's very much the ecosystem that we're building, and I think kind of showcases the power of the platform.
How many subscribers do you have at the moment?
Well, we announced we passed the 450,000 member base, and we're obviously getting very close to the 500,000 member base. So for Canada, for a country with approximately 35 million, that's starting to be sizable. Again, our goal is to get over 1 million members within the next couple of years, and we think we're on track to do that. And obviously, that's when you start to get to a good scale. We talked before about ING Direct Canada when it was sold to Scotiabank for $3 billion. They had about 1.8 million customer accounts, right? So we're starting to get to a sizable scale in the Canadian marketplace.
We talked before we start the interview about regulation. That the regulations in Europe are sometimes going crazy. And here is not better. Is this good for you? On one hand, that it's much tougher to get business in your area, or is it only the bad thing that you must handle the regulations? Yeah,
so I think it's a little bit of both. There's no question about it. You, as a business, when you're trying to grow, the more regulation, the more complexity, the longer things take. You got to research it, lawyers, all the rest of the stuff. Having said that, once you do that and you get set up in there, it definitely becomes one of the barriers. So the barrier for somebody to compete with MoGo today is they not only have to build out this technology platform, which has taken us years and well over $100 million of investment, they have to have all of these products, and they also have to deal with a whole bunch of regulation. Mortgage, for example, every province you have to get licensed as a broker. Every product has its own regulation around advertising as well. So the advertising and disclosure that you can do for a loan is different than a mortgage, right? And nobody can even touch a mortgage application unless they're a licensed broker. So there's complexities, and every one of these complexities start obviously creating a bigger and bigger barrier, and it's harder and harder for anybody to no different than the challenge the U.S. companies have for coming to Canada again is a small market. So when we go into province, we're launching in another province shortly with just over 1 million customers. Well, there's a lot of complexities and regulation that we're dealing with, and all you're going to do is get into a province with 1 million customers. If you're a U.S. company, you come up here and you say, hey, let's launch into Canada, what typically happens, they start going through it and they say, it's actually not worth it. We have too many other opportunities in the U.S., bigger market, etc. We're never going to get this, it's not worth it. And that's actually good for us because it limits the competition, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Coming back to one press release, what I saw 2 months ago, you announced that you have access to a credit facility or you expanded, and the terms was for me a little bit high. It was I think 14% or something. Is this normal?
So this is, remember, we have 2 credit facilities. We have a credit facility that funds our short-term loans, which is our very high-yielding loan, and then we have another credit facility which funds our installment loans, the lower yielding. The short-term credit facility is the one you're referring to. That actually is a lower rate than our previous one. So A, we got our cost of capital down. B, we actually expanded it, right?
What was the interest rate before?
I think it was around 15%, right? So it's slightly lower. But you have to realize on the short term, our yield is 200% plus. So whether or not your cost of capital is 14% or 10%, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. That's not the main driver. Obviously, all things being equal, a lower cost of capital is always better. But there's so many other things. A lot of times people focus on the cost of capital. There's so many other things that matter. Do you have a really good lender? Do they understand this business, right? What you don't want is somebody to come in and say, hey, we'll offer you really low, but we don't really understand that space. On the lending side, more the security of the lending, the availability of the capital, that is way more important than the cost, right? So we're very careful, and we have many other options out there for borrowing money even at lower rates, and we obviously continue to choose to go with Corchus because we think they're a good partner.
Okay, I understand. The second is, when you look at the stock, there is a huge short position out. Do you have any clue from which side the short position coming? you see it when the stock going up, the short position going up dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, listen, obviously there's always people that speculate on stocks one way or the other, right? We're obviously continuing to focus on executing on the business, doing all the right things. So the shorts, right, given the fact that this is a company that went public at 10 and they're short down in the $3 range, right? Obviously, they're taking, in my opinion, a pretty big risk, right? This company doesn't need to do much to dramatically go up, and with a small float, etc., the shorts could be in trouble relatively quickly.
That's my point. There's a 10% short position out of a fully base. So, and when you take, 40-50% are really in friendly hands. So that's mean 20% of the float are in short. And this is...
Exactly. So obviously there's a lot of people out there that do the research and see that, and some see that as, well, hey, this is actually a good buying opportunity. Just one of the reasons, not because of the fundamentals, but also this other element. I mean, all I can say is, as the CEO, I'm just really focused on executing on the business, the long term, obviously growing the top line, growing the bottom line, continuing to build out the platform. People going short along the stock, that's going to, as far as I'm concerned, take care of itself as we execute.
Come to new product. You have a very interesting new product. A lot of people understand the problems about data, and the people understand it, that it's here in North America, all the people are have a score, are rated. In Europe is a little bit different, this model. But you're coming up with a very interesting product. What was the reason for this product, and how you make money out of it?
So the product is called ID Protect, and in North America and increasingly obviously around the world, consumers are concerned about not only their data is getting out there through breaches like the one the big credit bureau recently had, where 145 million North Americans had
That was Equifax or something.
Right, so 145 million North Americans had their data breached. And we're talking about information including driver's license, name, social insurance number, credit card, you name it. Well, that data and information is gold to criminals, right? And that information then gets out into places like the dark web, where the criminals are, and they're looking for that data. And the reason they're looking for it is they can then take that data and then essentially impersonate someone through that information. And where they profit from it is they go open credit card accounts, loans, etc., under those people's name, right? That's how it ultimately comes back, where they make money from it. So as a consumer in all countries, the reality is we should all assume our data has already been breached. We can't stop our data from getting out there. You couldn't stop the Equifax hack, and even though you never personally gave Equifax your information, they already got it from somewhere else. Let's say you never did anything online. Guess what? Your data was already compromised. Why? Because maybe you got a mortgage, you got a credit card. That data was transferred over to Equifax. When it was hacked, that information is now out there, right? So increasingly in this digital world, everybody has to be concerned about identity theft. And where identity theft hurts you is when, again, they take that information, get credit in your name, and then all of a sudden you find out you owe $20,000, right? ID Protect essentially alerts you if anybody is using your information and looking to get credit under your name because they're going to do an inquiry at the bureau. So in Canada, you can't get a mortgage, a loan, a car loan, pretty much any type of credit, really, with any lender that's without them doing an inquiry in the bureau. So we essentially alert you. And obviously we leverage our platform. That's the nice thing about the platform. We essentially are going to go from idea to launching this product in about 3 months, right? It's going to be available within the mobile app, the MoGo account. So again, it's everybody's onboarding the same way. We're looking to charge around $7.99 a month, which is about half of what a comparable solution in Canada charges. But compared to the others, ours is in a mobile app. It's got a very good user experience, a fraction of the price. So, there's approximately 26 million Canadians in Canada with a credit score. Every single, in my opinion, there isn't anybody in Canada that shouldn't be signing up for something like this because you can't afford it. It's like fire insurance on a home. You can't buy it after your house burns down. It's too late, right? You have to protect it. So for a young person, a millennial, that is looking to go out there and build their financial future, buy a home, if they don't do this and their information gets hacked and they go to buy a home and they say, well, hey, wait a minute, you got a bad credit score, or it looks like you owe money, that'll literally stop the mortgage process. You can't get a mortgage. There was an article in the Globe Mail the other day about a woman who essentially, through this, had $500,000 worth of loans taken out under her name. And in the story it says basically these criminals, with her information, went to 12 different lenders, 10 said no, 2 said yes. So it isn't a certainty, you know, there's processes, and let's say 10 of them somehow said, hey, this doesn't look right, but 2 said yes. That's how they got it. Well, with this, they would have, every single one of those would have been an inquiry. Every single one of these would have been alert saying, hey, RBC is doing an inquiry. You know, so-and-so, XYZ loaning is doing an inquiry. So you'd get notified, and you could literally say, hey, I didn't do that. You can stop it right there and ultimately prevent it before it impacts you. And if it does happen, even if you can prove it wasn't you, that can take you years to actually clear that up. And in the meantime, you can't get a mortgage, right? Or you can't get a line of credit. Let's say you're financially stable and your credit score never mattered to you. This happens, all of a sudden the bank says, hey, actually, I can't give you a new line of credit. What do you mean? Well, you've got a credit card over here apparently went into default. No, I don't have a credit card. And that's how people discover it, right? So, and that market opportunity, so you think about it, at $8 a month, 26 million consumers, the total market opportunity is about $1.5 billion a year in
when you
Canada.
want launch this product?
We're going to be launching it in Q4 this quarter.
Q4.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I think it's what's great about it is it really does show the power of this platform. And the power of our platform is not only our ability to launch a product relatively quickly in a very well-designed product, which is software development, that we have a team of 100 people on a product team, but we have a technology platform that enables us to have multiple products within this one account. If this was a bank, it would probably take well over a year or so. They might even have to launch it on a separate mobile app because their technology platform doesn't allow it to put it into the same one. And with our post-media partnership, which we consider part of our platform, we can then go out there and do a multi-million-dollar ad campaign and promote this to millions and millions of Canadians, right? That is the power of the MoGo platform. And so I think with this product as an example, it's just another way to showcase the value of the platform, what we built. And there's many more opportunities like that, products that we can bring into the platform, launch them relatively quickly. You know, so obviously, you know, maybe somebody just has a mortgage, maybe somebody just has free credit score. They don't need a mortgage now, they don't need a loan now, but absolutely they are worried about protecting their ID.
Wow. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Especially when you multiply this with your existing users and they say $7.99 per month.
That's right.
It's per month. $7.99.
Yes, correct. Yeah, exactly. So it'd be so think about it. Once you sign up for this, is this something where you can say, okay, I no longer want
what
it?
are the costs behind it?
So the margin on it is very high. Let's just say we have a very good margin. Now the cost, if anybody else was going to launch this, think what they'd have to do. They'd have to build out an account, web, mobile apps, build out a technology team. So there's a whole bunch to get to this place where you have the ability to launch something within one account where people have other things and other things in which they value, and be able to do that with a relatively low cost and incrementally big margin. Obviously a lot of investment happens. So for anybody else, you'd have to build up an entire company around this to launch a product like that. And so not to mention we've got the marketing partnership as well.
I like this. Come to my last question there.
Yep.
There are some words outside in the market. There's the words of the flavor of the month, I must say. One of these words is blockchain. For me, is blockchain interesting technology?
Yeah.
And it helps the companies to transfer data really secure.
Yeah.
So you're working also in this area. You're looking for opportunities for how you can use the blockchain technology in your space.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, think about it. Obviously, our kind of long-term vision is our goal is to be one of the top financial brands in Canada. Right, the next 5 to 10 years, we truly believe we have an opportunity to be within the top 5 financial brands in Canada, and really at that forefront of the next generation of banking. There's no question about it. Technology like blockchain, including things like cryptocurrency, are going to be a part of that, right? So it's a natural, you hear a lot of this stuff out there, but people, they have no company, they have no business model. We are a real company, 260 team members, $50 million revenue. Absolutely, there's an opportunity that we've been looking at this for a while. And now it makes sense where we're really looking at, okay, how are we going to leverage blockchain? So obviously blockchain, if you think about, you take a look at the mortgage experience. a mortgage experience won't be able to go fully digital unless you have technology like blockchain, because there's elements right now that even if you digitize the part that you can, there's parts that rely on like property registration, title, all of this stuff that is old school. There's obviously an opportunity with blockchain to take that and move it through smart contracts, distributed ledger to blockchain, and actually have this happen in a fast, secure, right, and essentially digital way. So blockchain is definitely going to be part of that whole, in almost all financial products, which is really the space they say blockchain has had the biggest opportunity in terms of essentially enabling banking and financial services to go totally digital. So obviously we're going to be looking at ways to leverage it to continue on path to digitize. Cryptocurrency, obviously there's a natural where MoGo could bring a cryptocurrency into the account. We've got this dashboard, we have close to 500,000 members, we have trust and credibility. In Canada, one of the biggest challenges in a lot of countries, if you actually want to buy cryptocurrency, problem is trust. You go to a bunch of these sites, I've never heard of these guys, and I'm going to have 10, 20, who knows how much money worth of, I'm going to trust them. Who are these guys, right? MoGo has an opportunity to go out there and launch something like a cryptocurrency account and actually have trust. We're publicly traded, we've been around, and then people, and obviously it makes sense that, hey, within a next generation bank account, I actually can buy Bitcoin. Our MoGo card could also be used for Bitcoin as well. There's companies out there right now trying to raise money to build a prepaid card where you leverage Bitcoin instead of cash. Well, we've already got the card platform, the payment platform. Now instead of using it on fiat currency, you can actually use it on cryptocurrency. Loans, we do lending. There's companies out there now trying to do an ICO to raise money to potentially lend against cryptocurrency. We already do unsecured lending. So somebody could open an account today at MoGo, we could have a crypto account, a MoGo card, and ultimately we can even offer a margin or loans related to your cryptocurrency account, depending on your credit rating. We're also fully KYC compliant as well. So we only deal with people that have banks in Canada. They go through our KYC process as well. So all of this other concerns around there. So absolutely, this is a space we're looking at, and we think there's a big opportunity.
Thank you for the update. It was a great end point. Then I have also the feeling that the blockchain is a hype.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of company has nothing behind.
That's right, yeah.
So the viewer should take care a little bit of their own money and look a little bit deeper what the company does.
That's right, yeah. Agreed.
Ja, es war ein sehr gutes Update und ich muss ehrlicherweise sagen, mir gefällt die Company jetzt noch besser als zuvor. Grund, ich komme gleich zum wichtigsten Punkt, ist das neue Produkt. Sie wissen, in Kanada läuft alles mit einem Credit Score. Das heißt, Sie kriegen keine Kreditkarte, nichts, ohne dass Sie eine Kreditfähigkeit-Abfrage bekommen. Und es hat jetzt einen großen Hack gegeben in den USA. Equifax hat 150 Millionen Daten sind dort geklaut worden. Dort sind Daten wie Fahrzeugnummer, Geburtsdatum, die Passnummer, alles mögliche Daten sind öffentlich geworden. Und dadurch ist es jetzt einfach ein Problem, was passiert mit ihren Daten. Er hat von einer Frau erzählt, die zur Bank gegangen ist, mehr oder weniger einen Kredit haben wollte und dann sind sie draufgekommen, dass eigentlich $500.000 sie einen Kredit hat bei verschiedenen Banken und die alle default sind, also wertlos sind, weil andere ihre Identität gestohlen haben und das bei 12 anderen Banken probiert haben. 10 haben abgelehnt, 2 haben ihr dann einen Kredit gegeben, ja, und die sind natürlich dann auf und davon gewesen. Sie haben jetzt eine neue App erfunden, das sieht man auch im Hintergrund, das schaut aus wie so ein kleines Radar und Sie kriegen Informationen, wenn irgendein Finanzdienstleister eine Abfrage macht über Ihre Kreditwürdigkeit. Und Sie können dann sagen, hey, ich habe ja gar keine Anfrage gestellt bezüglich einer Kreditkarte oder sonst irgendwas. Dann können Sie dort direkt anrufen, bei dem, ich habe mir es vorher gezeigt, sagen, hallo, ich bin das nicht. Und dann wird der dementsprechende Prozess abgebrochen, beziehungsweise dann natürlich weiter mal geschaut, wer ist es überhaupt, wenn der wieder reinkommt, dass man dann dementsprechend den Hops nimmt. Also ganz eine interessante Sache und das Produkt kostet $7,99 und wird im 4. Quartal gestartet. $7,99 im Monat. 500.000, sage ich einmal, also es ist ein kurz davor, dass sie 500.000 machen. Wenn Sie das durchrechnen, ja, das sind 4 Millionen ungefähr, wenn diese 500.000 dieses Produkt nehmen. Er sagt, eigentlich müssten es alle 26 Millionen Kanadier dieses Produkt haben, da wollen wir noch gar nicht reden, aber wenn ihre 500.000 das machen, macht das 4 Millionen Umsatz aus im Monat. Das ist ungefähr dann hochgerechnet auf Jahr so viel Umsatz, wie Sie jetzt machen bei einer extrem hohen Margin. Mortgage Business läuft natürlich an, dauert ein bisschen länger als es ist. Ich habe dann auch gefragt mit ihrer Kreditfacility, die was sie erst abgeschlossen haben, weil 14% sehr hoch ist, sagt er, das ist allerdings nicht so hoch, vorher haben sie ein bisschen mehr gehabt und man muss wissen, mit wem wir zusammenarbeiten und sie haben da eine Rohmarge teilweise von 200%, also unglaublich hoch, aufs Jahr gerechnet natürlich, weil das sind solche Kreditdinge, wo sie 30% drauf zahlen oder 40% drauf zahlen auf 2 Monate. Und von daher muss man ehrlicherweise sagen, unglaublich. Ich habe mir auch gefragt wegen der Short-Position. 10% ist ja ungefähr Short, wenn man die Aktien rausrechnet, die in Closed Hand sind, dann sind die Short-Positionen über 20%. Also da wird es richtig zappeln irgendwann einmal. Und alleine mit dem neuen Produkt, und er sagt auch, und was ist interessant war, die Regularien werden immer stärker und das ist auch eine Eintrittsbarriere. Da kommen die Leute nicht mehr so rein, so leicht rein. Er hat im Vorfeld mir erzählt, sie müssen über 250 Auflagen erfüllen und dazu ist Kanada eigentlich zu klein, dass da ein Großer aus Amerika kommt und diesen Markt aufräumt, weil jede Provinz hat ihre eigenen Gesetzgebungen wieder. Und natürlich habe ich ihn auch gefragt über Blockchain, wie das ist. Natürlich ist es Technologie, die sie sich genau anschauen, weil das einfach eine natürliche Entwicklung ist, das viel, viel sicherer ist als wie die herkömmliche Technologie, die verwendet wird. Nur andererseits ist es so, in der Finanzindustrie wird lange noch beides nebeneinander laufen, weil die alte Finanzindustrie einfach Zeit braucht, das Ganze umzustellen und das wird nicht von heute auf morgen gehen. Und sie haben halt einfach die Möglichkeit, das Ganze zu machen, auch diese Möglichkeit Cryptocurrencies, also wie zum Beispiel Bitcoin in ihren Ökosystem einzubauen, in ihrer App, ist es sehr leicht möglich. Und er sagt, das Riesenvorteil ist halt, MoGo ist schon bekannt, hat fast 500.000 User. Das heißt, wenn Sie mit einem Wallet rauskommen, Cryptocurrency, dann ist es auch, dem vertraut man dann, dass die Company auch wirklich was Interessantes macht, beziehungsweise dass die sicher ist. Währenddessen, wenn man halt irgendein Wallet bei irgendeiner Internetplattform zeichnet, weiß man nicht, wer dahinter steht und die können auf und davon sein mit dem ganzen Geld. Und dann schaut man auch blöd durch die Wäsche. Also spannende Sache, es tut sich viel und daher bleibe ich natürlich dabei. Das war es vom MoGo Oktober 2017. Tschüss und Baba. Thank you.
Thank you.